I'm on mute. Now you can hear me. Welcome to Talking Good Game. We just finished Brentford 1, West Ham United 1 at the G-Tech Stadium. A very scrappy game, I thought, by both teams. It was almost like two poor teams out there rather than two good teams. But we could have nicked it at the end. Well, I say at the end, maybe for 10 minutes towards the end of the half before Brentford started pushing for the winner. We can maybe have grabbed something from there. Anyway, we were 1-0 down after 37 seconds. 37 seconds we're 1-0 down. And that dictates your mood a little bit, I think. It puts you in such a bad mood. And also because it's something that Brentford have done in the last couple of games, that kick-off, that way to go forward, to get bodies up, they swarm you. It was a bit scrappy. But the goal by Mbuemo I thought was fantastic, to be honest with you. Very identical to what he did against Spurs. But what's really frustrating is that the goal they scored was identical to the goal that they've already scored earlier on this season. It just felt that we were ill-prepared. We weren't ready for what has become a Brentford tactic. Thomas Frank has literally spoken that they're trying to create chances immediately from kickoff. And they done that. They absolutely done that, which was really frustrating. The first half, though, after the goal, I was really annoyed. But then after I started to calm down a bit, I feel like it was an even first half. The stats would be very West Ham heavy, but it's the butterfly effect a little bit because Brentford have gone 1-0 up so early. They're going to sit back. We are going to have more shots. We are going to get further at the pitch quicker because Brentford are now protecting a lead. Brentford are now trying to play counter-attacking football. However, we were starting to have a bit of a go, but most of our opportunities were not even half chances, to be honest with you. Bowen taking a shot on the edge of the box. It was just a little bit scrappy by us. But the whole game I thought was lacking quality, lacking composure, lacking much control from either team. It was a bit end to end. It sort of suited us to some extent, but it was also causing us a little bit of problems at the back. But because they were 1-0 up, I feel that they allowed us to get back into the game. Just missing much. It was an improvement on what we've seen, but it's hard to say that because basically if we're not getting battered, it's an improvement by what we've seen. It is frustrating to concede so early on, but as the half went on, we were looking a bit better without being good, if that makes sense. But I do feel we were relying on a little bit of individual brilliance. Can somebody do something? It's like waiting for Kudus to get us up the pitch, but even when he did, there was just nobody really backing him up. It was lacking much game plan from us in the first half. Now, there was changes at half-time by Lopetegui, which I think we expected, but the changes I don't think we were expecting. To take Kudus off, and it was reported that immediately, it's not an injury, it's just tactical. We've decided to take him off. That was bold. That was a brave move by Lopetegui. Now, let me go back to the start of the game here. When I seen the lineup and we didn't have Somerville starting, I was not happy. I was not happy about Somerville not starting, and I still am not. He almost needed Somerville to come on and get a winner in order to justify not playing him from the start. But in the first half, I felt that we were posing a bit of a threat, and I thought Kudus in particular was the one running at Brentford's defence and causing uncertainty among their defence. Now, was he excellent? No, but he's very restricted out in the left wing. When he took a shot earlier on in the game, he had to take it with his right foot and it sailed high and wide, but that's what happens when you're going to put Kudus on the left. He's going to cut in and use his weak foot. To take him off at half-time, I thought that was a brave decision. And we took Mavropanos on for Emerson and moved Wan-Bissaka over to the left back, and again Wan-Bissaka continues to look like our best right back and left back. In the second half though, I was impressed by the attitude of the players. When we played Chelsea, when we played Liverpool at times, maybe not so much Liverpool, especially against Chelsea, I feel like there was just a lack of grit from us in that we didn't really look like we were that bothered to be losing, and I was concerned by the attitude of the players. But today, I thought in the second half, they came out and battled. Our team really battled. Did we get better to some extent? But I think Brentford played their part in that. I think Brentford were quite poor today. It was just a really scrappy game from start to finish, and that allowed us to grow into the game a little bit. But we were still just lacking quality. It felt a bit like there wasn't much advantage due to tactics or anything like that. It was pretty much, can we just do something? Can someone go out there and do something? And we had a bit of quality in the 54th minute because we made it 1-1. Now, this bit of play by Soucek and Bowen I thought was absolutely fantastic. It was a 3-4. Did you call it a 3-4? There's 2 1-2s. I guess you could call it a 3-4. But between Bowen and Soucek, and there was 2 little flicks by Bowen. It wasn't simple passes to make, but the first return from Soucek was on the money. The second one, you can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to lift it over the defence and give it back to Bowen. It falls short and it goes to Antonio. But it's good play by them. Antonio doesn't really do much wrong in this move. He brings it down, he gets his shot away, gets deflected. And Soucek, who's just played the ball on the edge of the box, is now in front of the 6-yarder. He passes it and moves immediately, gets the goal. Well-deserved goal by Soucek. Well, he makes that goal and he finishes that goal as well. But that's what was needing from us, something good or something scrappy. And we managed to get a combination of both, really. You make your own luck sometimes, and I think that's exactly what Soucek did. From that moment on, though, at times I felt we had Brentford on the ropes. And Somerville ended up coming on. Antonio was shot, he went off. But I just feel like we continued to lack much composure or control, and neither did Brentford. Listen, I'm not saying Brentford were in charge of the game, they dominated, they did not. I think it was a really evenly contested game. Now, the stats are there on your screen, it suggests Brentford had the possession, West Ham had the shots, but I feel like our shot quality was quite low. There was a lot of pot shots going on there and try your luck kind of efforts, and it would suggest that Brentford were in control possession wise, but I didn't feel like watching it. I felt like Areola and Flecking, I think both goalkeepers had a relatively easy game today. Despite there being 27 shots at goal, I don't think they had much to do. I mean, the stats show that 3 shots on target for each team, 1 went in. So do the maths, only 2 saves to make for each goalkeeper. It was a game of low quality. Now, coming into this game, I feel Lopetegui was under immense pressure. He had to not lose. This was a must not lose game. And I'm isolating this game because if I take into consideration the team we put out against Liverpool and what we've seen, I'm not so keen on taking the draw from this one. But it is a good point. It's a bit Fulham-esque in the sense that you come away not necessarily happy with the performance, but you're happy with the point because of where you go. Brentford, 2 games so far this season at home, won both of them. Arguably games they'd expect to win, but they'll do alright this season, Brentford. So it's a good point on the road. And I think what this does do for Lopetegui is it delays the conversation for another week. Ipswich, I think, was always a must win. I don't think anything's really changed. Unless he won today, that doesn't really change. You could argue, even if we did win, he's still going to have to win against Ipswich. Otherwise, it puts us in a bit of an awkward situation. I think today, all we've done is just delay that conversation, delay the whole evaluation of Lopetegui to some extent. I don't think anyone's changing their mind on Lopetegui based on today. I don't think anyone who thought he was going to struggle watched us today and thought, do you know what, I think he's going to do alright. Likewise, anyone that thought Lopetegui would do good, I don't think they've watched us today and gone, do you know what, I'm not convinced by this guy anymore. I think he might struggle. I think it's just a sort of as you were off the back of today's performance. But he got some things right, Lopetegui. Although I still don't get not starting Somerville, and I'm still not happy with it. And while I'm pleased that we've got a point, I'm relieved we've not lost. There is a bit of me that thinks they were there for the taking today, Brentford. That was not a good Brentford team today. And I think had he got it right, we could have won today's game. I just feel relieved at full time, and I think I'm just glad we haven't lost. But there is a bit of me when I was watching the game was thinking I'm not happy with this, because we could have, a better team today would have won that game against Brentford. A better team might have beaten West Ham, but I didn't think we looked great, if that makes sense. I'm unconvinced that there was anything there that we did fantastically well. I just want to say thank you to Rudy Allen for the £2 super chat. Alan just said, love the new layout, Gio, keep up the great work. Yeah, we've invested a brand deal money into it, and hopefully people enjoy it and like it for the watch along, the build up show, and I've just left it on for the review to make the most of it, kind of thing. But thank you for the £2 super chat, I appreciate it. Now, before I talk about individual players and Lopetegui a little bit more, we are now doing fan cams. If you want to send us your reaction from the game, you can do. Now, the details on how to do it is on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/HammersChat. You do not need to be a patron to view the post. Anyone can go and read it. It's just the best place. It's the best location to put how to give us a fan cam. But we're also rewarding people as well. So after a set amount of fan cams, depending on if you're a YouTube subscriber, a patron, or you're subscribed to the Addicts tier on Patreon, we're setting up a reward scheme. So after so many videos, you can get your hands on things. But at the minute, anyone can get a signed Julian Dix print, and also there's a sign. If you're an addict, you can get a signed shirt, whether it be a Di Canio one. I've got one here actually. If you're an addict and once you've achieved the total, you can get your hands on something like this. It's a shirt signed by Paul Di Canio. So send us your fan cams and we'll stick them on the two Hammers Chat YouTube channels later on tonight. So please do get involved. The more people that send us fan cams, the better. In regards to individual performances, I thought Wan-Bissaka was our best player. I think he was our best performer out there today, at right back and at left back. But at left back, I think Wan-Bissaka was possibly our biggest attacking threat. And I don't like that. I shouldn't be saying that. I don't like that. But I generally feel that Wan-Bissaka was our biggest attacking threat for West Ham today. I thought Bowen worked really hard, and he did against Liverpool on Wednesday. I feel like we've seen a different Bowen in the last couple of games. I like it. He was involved for the goal. Quite pivotal to us getting that equaliser. Defensively, we were a little bit better than we have been previously. We weren't leaking like a colander. It was just still a bit unshaky, but I feel untested is maybe the term I'd use. I thought Rodriguez really struggled today. I think he's just slow. Rodriguez is just slow, and there's always games, even if he does nothing wrong for 20 minutes, he could go 20 minutes where he's fine, he's not done anything wrong, but there's a counter-attack and bang, he's just out of the game completely, and the guy that's meant to be protecting the defence ain't able to protect the defence. Antonio huffed and puffed, but was lacking any quality. Kudus I thought looked alright. We went off at half time, but I was happy what I seen from him in the first half. And I think Soucek had a good game as well actually. I thought he was fine, good in the middle of the pitch today. This type of game I think sometimes suits Soucek, where it is a little bit scrappy, there is a lot of aerial balls, but he's the one that popped up in the 18-yarder and got us the equaliser, because we were going to need someone to do something. Soucek did it, hugely involved in the build-up. He applied the finish. Soucek bails out the manager again. So there you go. That's my review. I am not convinced off the back of today. Pleased with the point. Glad we didn't lose. But I haven't come away any more confident that Lopetegui's going to make it click. If anything, I'm even less confident Lopetegui knows what his starting 11 is. What's Lopetegui's best 11? I don't think he knows it. Looking at the starting 11 today, the substitutes he made, I'm still far from convinced he's any closer to finding out the answer. I think he knows his best defence. But even defensively, he's making early subs in pretty much every game. He's changing the defenders. When Mavropanos playing right back, and then he was playing sort of right centre back. We need to get it right for Ipswich. Ipswich is still a big game. It's maybe not as big as it was. I think he'll get away with a draw. And when I say get away with it, I mean from the boardroom, not from the fan base. Because he got the draw today, I think he can draw next week. But it's not enough. And he's not going to start getting wins until he figures out what's going on. 6 games in now. 8 if you want to include the cup games. How many do you need? Fergie said 10's the magic number. Well, he's got 2 really. 1 until the international break. Listen, I want to say thank you to Jack Mate, who is the Happy Hour podcast host. One of the biggest podcasts in the UK. Jealous. Jack's put in £5 in the super chat, and he said it feels like we have got no identity, unlike the Hammers Chat with a sexy new theme. Thank you very much, Jack. Much appreciated. It'll go towards the sexy new theme, as will Alan's £2. But anyway, right, I'm going to disappear. Fan cams, get them in. Go to patreon.com/Hammers Chat to find out how to get them in. And come back later on. Hopefully tonight on this channel, on the forum channel, there'll be a couple people that get involved. Anyway, I'm going to disappear. Glad we didn't lose, but I remain unconvinced.